a step into writing this down and memorizing this. They used to memorize the Quran. Ya ikhwa, if we take a stab against the way in which the Sunnah was preserved, we are taking a stab against the very people who preserved the Quran. Taking a stab against that is taking a stab against the Quran. You have to learn this. Don't belittle these things or think, oh, you know, he has his own understanding. I've heard people say this, he has his own understanding, I have my own. No. It is set in stone. There isn't your understanding and my understanding. The deen is not a toy, it's not a game. The deen is set in stone. These people has toiled. They have put their souls and sweat and blood and all of their time into this. No joking. One of them would sit, if they told him, narrate the hadiths of that came by this person and that person, he would sit from Al-Fajr all the way to Dhuhr, sitting from the prayer of Fajr all the way of Dhuhr prayer, narrating all the hadiths that have this person narrating from that person and this, or if you ask him about a certain issue in the deen, he would narrate all the ahadith that he knows by the thousands, spending hours and hours from Fajr all the way to Dhuhr. Not even computers can do this. They can narrate a hadith based upon the ilal, based upon the hidden defects and so on and so forth. Not even computers can do this. These are people which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made to preserve this deen, taking a stab against them, and the Sunnah is taking a stab against the Quran. Who taught you the Quran and brought to us the Quran other than the Sahaba, the companions of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Tabi'een and Tabi'ut? Who? How did it reach us this day? Ya ikhwa, open your minds. Be very careful when somebody says something like this. And unfortunately, I have met many a Muslim who says this out of his utter ignorance. He is utterly ignorant, doesn't know what he's the first thing about what he's talking about, and comes and says, I don't know about the Sunnah. How can I trust the Sunnah? The same people that give you the Quran are the people that give you the Sunnah. When you look at the Ahadith, who do you see in the Ahadith? In the Sanad, don't you see Muhammad ibn Sirin? Don't you see Sa'id ibn Jubayr? Don't you see Sufyan al-Thawri, Sufyan ibn Uyayna, wal-Hammadain, wal-Imam Malik? Don't you see Mujahid? Don't you see Masruq? Don't you see Al-Shafi'i, Abu Hani? Don't you see these people, Malik, Abu Hani, Malik al-Shafi'i, and Al-Imam Ahmad, and then Al-Bukhari, and then Al-Humaydi, wa Yahya ibn Ma'in, Ibn Rahoya, and so on and so forth. They have memorized these hadiths. These are ulama. And the same way the aqidah is set in stone, the same way these people have spoken in aqidah. Al-Imam al-Bukhari has a book in aqidah which is called Khalq Af'al al-Ibad. His Shaykh Al-Humaydi, he has a message in aqidah. The same thing with Imam Ahmad, he has books in aqidah. The same thing with Imam al-Shafi'i, he's spoken about aqidah. All of these are there, brothers. The same thing with Abi Ubaid al-Qasim bin Salam from our Salaf. They have spoken about the aqidah. The same way al-Awza'i, and on, and the list goes. Abdullah ibn Ali ibn Abdullah al-Madini. Ali al-Madini, the Shaykh of Imam al-Bukhari, who Imam al-Bukhari said, ما استصغرت نفسي عند أحد كما استصغر أو إلا عند الإمام Ali ibn al-Madini. Meaning what? This is the Imam of the Ilal, that he did not belittle himself except in front of Ali ibn al-Madini. Al-Bukhari belittled himself in the presence of his Shaykh Ali ibn al-Madini. And there is a nice story that is said about Ali ibn al-Madini, that he is, when it comes to the hadith, he is so, look at the justice and honesty of these people. When he was asked about his father, Abdullah, he said that his father is daif. His father, the hadith, weak hadith by his father. Subhanallah. Look at the justice of these people. These people with this justice, with this memorization, memorizing hundreds of thousands of hadiths, hundreds. They say we have taken these hadith from 100,000. We have picked them, or from 700,000 hadiths. We have picked these hadiths. They memorize all of these.